Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Eastchester Union Free School District's first ever podcast. My name is Joseph Blute. I will be your host for this podcast, and we are very excited to provide this for this incredible district. We have a very exciting pilot episode. I was able to speak with Dr. Ronald Valenti, the superintendent of Eastchester Schools, about a week ago to this point. And I was able to ask him a lot of great questions about this upcoming school year. Here is Dr. Ronald Valenti.
Hi, Eastchester. This is Dr. Ron Valenti, your superintendent of schools. Delighted to be working with the students and families and staff of Eastchester. It's a great, respected community.
I was able to ask him a lot of questions about new district initiatives, new programs that are taking place within the walls in the Eastchester School District.
So in building this year's budget, we were looking at particular innovative programs. And we wanted to be very 21st century centric on this. That is to say, where are our children going? Where will their careers lead them in the 21st century? So we began with the concept of global language. We live in a global world. And at the Waverly School, we decided that we wanted to initiate a FLES program, foreign language in elementary Spanish. We believed that that was the right place to begin, kindergarten and first grade, bringing our students to levels of functional proficiency, cultural awareness, and the minimum language that one would need to learn at those early grade levels in order to begin to communicate about weather, about travel, about geography, about family. So that program is now in place. Here we are toward the end of October, and it's taken a good root, very positive reactions from faculty and parents. And we believe we can already anticipate that its success is such that we will move that program into Ann Hutch and Greenvale next year, recruiting for some additional teachers so that second and third graders will now have the opportunity for the FLES Spanish program. That will allow our current first graders to move into an environment where there will be a continuity of instruction. On the global language front, we took a hard look at what we were doing at the middle and high school level. And the apparent gap was that in grade 6, students did not have any global language. We offer French, Spanish, and Italian. And they had to make a formal decision during grade 6, which would begin in grade 7. So our thinking was at the time, a year ago, well, make a decision based on what? The students had not been exposed to each of the three languages, and it was almost guessing, well, gee, Jack, which would you like to do? So the thinking is that this year, all sixth graders will have a period of global language each day dedicated either to French, Spanish, or Italian, so that over the course of the year, every sixth grader will have experienced each of the three languages. And based on their actual experiences, both in language, culture, geography, etc., make a more informed decision with their parents as to what language they'll be accepting in grade 7. So that's an initiative that is in place now and will continue. As we continue to look at grade 6, the other major gap that we found educationally was that our children are coming out of 5th grade and literally being asked to move into secondary education at the middle school without the necessary supports that 5th graders would need. They're moving into a highly departmentalized environment. They're moving into teams. They're moving into expectations for work at the 6th grade level that is of higher order than what they were doing at the upper elementary. And so we believe the skills course that would give youngsters the note-taking skills, the writing skills, the questioning skills, the executive autonomy skills in order to be able to manage a different environment, a different learning environment, a different learning experience, and begin to succeed even more so at the middle level in preparation then for grade 7. So those combined sixth grade programs are both received very favorably so far and have had very good feedback from faculty and the community. Our Algebra for More, where we want more of our eighth graders taking Regents level algebra, is very successful. In fact, earlier today, literally period 3, I visited an Algebra R class, stayed for the entire class. Students are really engaged in learning algebra, and the interaction between the teacher and the students and the enthusiasm of the teacher, Mrs. Van Tassel, was infectious, allowed students to really engage. And what was most rewarding was that at the end of the period, I learned that that extra lab that we had proposed was so helpful for students who were feeling challenged. And they had that additional period where they could work with the teacher of record. So the success of Algebra for More, we will continue to grow that program in years coming, but we want to build on it now with science. And right now, no final decision made, but we're close that earth science may become the science of choice. And so our eighth graders will now have earth science for more. We already have some enrolled. We'd like to expand that for next year's eighth grade to a larger number of earth science students. So we continue on that track of more rigor in the curriculum, challenging students to higher level standards work, and we'll expand that next year as we move into the high school more so with advanced placement, more of our students participating in that program. And our goal is that every student, every graduate should have taken at least one AP course before graduation. So that runs the gamut on a number of innovative programs that we want to let the community know about through video, through excerpts, through reports that upgrade us and how students are doing. But right now, all of these programs are succeeding well. Another program or two that's worth noting, we did add to our WIN period at the elementary school, particularly at Greenvale and Ann Hutch. That is about an hour a day, and originally it was conceived for students who needed academic assistance in ELA or math, as well as students who needed special services, speech therapy, occupational therapy, etc. There was a group of students there who were proficient, are proficient in ELA and math, and we've now designed differentiated reading, guided reading, and math programs so that they are now engaged during that WIN period in advancing on levels beyond where they may be currently performing during the WIN period. I think that's worthy of note as new curriculum and engaging students who are at the proficiency and mastery level. Lastly, in preparation for students moving to grade 6, we are now at grade 5, giving them departmentalization, a taste of that minimally in math and ELA, so they begin to understand that working directly with a particular teacher in a particular subject area is the next move beyond elementary, where teachers teach all of the subjects, now up to grade 4, departmentalization grade 5.
So upon Dr. Valenti's very specific and in-depth analysis and dive into all of these wonderful new initiatives and programs, I had asked him to talk a little bit about the STEM program
We're very proud that this year we now have an instructional coach in the STEM area and math area, working with our district-wide supervisor, Irene Iannuzzi. So we have Kim Lattenville working with our faculty and Minnie in terms of the STEM effort, science, technology. We also have Jennifer Batts, who's doing some great work at the elementary level, particularly Waverly K1. So we're seeing a continuity and a continuum there. And if I could comment on the Reveal Math program, that really has taken root. And we will be reporting next month that our students did move on improving their math proficiency from 68% to 80%, which was our goal. And we think that is in part due to the efforts of the Reveal program and the intervention of coaches and professional development, and our teachers really working as a team to make that happen. As you look at grade 6 this year, we've introduced a new math program at grade 6 at GEMS, and we believe that's going to add on to what is happening with Reveal at the elementary level. And I also observed this morning in science, we have a lot of laboratory-oriented exercises with the new standards, where science is no longer lecture, but it is now engagement. And I happened to participate with a group of students in what was a coin lab. Students were given coins, dimes, nickels, quarters. They were asked to talk about the shape, talk about the feeling of the coins from a qualitative point of view, and then from a quantitative point of view, the measurement of the coins. So they're learning quantitative, qualitative distinctions, which are at the heart of research. They're learning how to form a hypothesis, literally. Okay, the hypothesis in this case being how many drops of water form a bubble on a particular coin. And the obvious inference that we're drawing is that a penny is smaller than a nickel, or a dime is smaller than a nickel, and a nickel is smaller than a quarter. So logically speaking, more drops will be needed quantitatively on the larger coin than the smaller coins. So that data is collected by students. This is science at work in its most practical, evidentiary-based form. And this is where the new standards are taking our students in the excitement of learning. It's very evident in small group work. It's very evident in the questioning techniques, and it's very evident in the general learning environment where all students are raising their hands and all students are virtually participating. That's a far step from sitting 20 students in a class quietly taking notes. Think about what's happening there, all right? Students are becoming teachers not only of themselves, they're partnering in learning, they're engaging in learning, and the teacher is somewhere moving about, helping and supporting those students. We're into a new age of learning, and this is the direction that Eastchester has chosen. Reading is at the heart of the matter. We are implementing, obviously, phonemic awareness, beginning at the earliest levels for our students, K1. Phonics, without phonics, you're not going to be able to form phonemes and literally create words, understand words, all right? Recognition of words is fine, but it's subsidiary to a child being able to break a word into its roots and then be able to pronounce that word, understand that word, and begin to build a vocabulary. From that individual vocabulary flows the sentence, and ultimately the paragraph, and then the essay. So that whole process is taking root. We do have foundations, another evidence-based program. We have a lot of independent reading going on, and we also have invested very heavily in differentiated reading and writing materials. So now we have the whole gestalt for our students to begin to build their literacy skills even more. I would say we're holding our own on state tests. I still would like to see us get to 80% proficiency, and I think that is something that will be achievable in the next year or two. But progress is being made, and we're encouraging parents, since you're giving me the opportunity to speak about this, to read, read, read at home. Our children need to be read to at the earliest ages, and they need to read to their parents, guardians, and others at home as much as possible. That any way parents can supplement and support reading at home only enhances what we're doing in the classroom. So have lots of books around, get a library card, have your children engaged in reading. Use our online resources, which are available at home. There's just so much that we could do that students can engage in even beyond the normal school day. So read, read, read.
Thank you all for listening. Very, very much appreciate it. And we will see you on the next episode.